Hi friends, welcome again to another video. So I'm excited for this video because it's a little bit different. We're not going to do journaling, but I wanted to share with you a few alternatives to using all these pictures that I've made and that I use for my journals. You might be the journaling type and you might be very happy to use all these pictures, but maybe you would like some variety and not only use these for journaling. And I wanted to show you a few examples of other ways that I use these pictures. So they're not only for my journals. I love to get creative and find all kinds of ways and alternatives to using the same pictures, the same materials. So if you've seen some of my journaling videos, you might recognize some of these pictures. As an example, here are some of the pictures I've used and how I put them into my book. So to start with, I have loads of journals like this where you'll notice that I've used these cutout pictures and leaves, also including some photographs. And to me, I love this variety because you have the real photos and then you have the painted pictures that I print out and then cut out and use, and then I have doodles. So the variety of it alongside some ripped out pages and note papers really makes for a beautiful combination. So these have been so much fun for me to make. I've made them for a few years now on all different topics. The other way that I've used these pictures is for a tunnel book. So this was my New Year's planner. I wanted to do it a little bit original and different, so I created a tunnel book in this really beautiful old book. And I've used these pictures cut out with the leaves alongside my doodles on each side of the pages. And as you can see, it makes a beautiful tunnel book. Each page is a little bit different depending on which pictures I used and cut out. So that's another way you might want to use these pictures and flowers of nature and flowers and nature designs and birds. The next one is using it for scrapbooking. I don't really do scrapbooking, but I have a anniversary book for my husband and I, so I'm going to maybe show you this in another video. But for now, I just wanted to show you another way that you can put it alongside some photos. This was our 25th anniversary, alongside the doodles. And this was the next year. So again, little hearts and flowers. So that's one other way you can make it as a scrapbook, putting it alongside your photos. And the last idea I wanted to share with you is how I've made this altered book. So it was already a notebook, and I just included my touch to it. So by adding little cutouts and doodles, again, I personalized it to me and what I wanted it to be. I covered any text so that I could have places to journal. So you'll notice again some of these cutouts. These were black and white pictures that I drew. And I'm sure you'll notice some other flower cutouts. So depending on what you would like to use these pictures for, you can download and print out and cut out the ones that are applicable to the project that you want to do. So with this first project, I'm going to be making a card. So I'm making this card for my daughter and she loves dancing. So I looked through my magazines and I found this picture. So I think I'm going to incorporate this photograph alongside my cutouts. So you can, of course, just use the printouts if you wanted to. I do find it special to use a variety. I like the rich look a little bit. And I'm going to use a card paper. this is paper 120 grams. You can use whatever you have, and you can make it whatever size you want. So I was thinking of putting a flower here. Then I noticed the butterfly. I think the butterfly would be really nice. I'm going to use these little 3D pieces of tape. And what I love to do with my cards and these little pictures is always, when I can, make it a pop-up look, especially when it's for a card. In a journal, it's a little more difficult. So I do that by just folding it in. So this is really the simplest way to do it. You could put a lot more into it. Looking if there's anything else I want to include. Maybe some greenery. And this one I'm going to use another little piece of tape. If you wanted to, of course, you could add some doodles to it, which I always encourage you to, because this is where you can shine with your creative skills and artistic expression. You can go simple or more elaborate. And you can also add doodles. If you want to go even more, you can keep doodling over black. So this is just to give you an idea how simple, but a beautiful card you can make. And now you can write as well. You can write a little message here, or you could glue a piece of card here to add your message. You could also make this little thing pop up if you wanted to. So don't forget to write the message. Next idea is, again, using some pictures from my cutouts. And again, I'm using a photograph from a magazine. This time I'm cutting it straight. And I'm going to make a quote page or a quote poster. So this kind of ties in with a journal, but instead I'm making it like on a little picture frame. And I'm trying to see which colors fit best to my photograph. This also makes a beautiful gift. If you don't know what to give somebody, just think of something handmade, something meaningful. You could write some words to a favorite song of theirs, or just a sweet note to let them know that you're thinking of them. I like making these for people and putting them in a simple little picture frame, because that way it's useful to them. It's not something that's going to get thrown out. You put a lot of effort and love into making it, and they will see that. And there we have it, something so simple and yet so beautiful. So again, you can even make these pop up if you want. And here you write your beautiful quote. I will need to get a bigger picture frame because this one is too small. But how pretty is that? The next idea, I'm going to make a bookmark. Maybe you need a bookmark for your books. Maybe you want to gift a bookmark to someone else. So using some pictures like this is a great way to do that. And I'm going to choose one of my pictures, like this little snail. So you can use as many pictures as you want. I like there's the little pieces sticking out of the bookmark. It adds a cute little touch. You could load your card with pictures if you wanted to. I'm leaving mine blank because that way I could write something. So the best way to keep a bookmark is to laminate it afterwards. And then you can just draw whatever you want. You can write whatever you want. So There's the little bookmark, all super simple and sweet. I'm just thinking of adding more. I have all these pictures, I might as well use them. I don't need to hoard my art supplies, especially when it's just a click away, when I can print them out again if I need to. So how cute would that look? Or maybe on this side. So have a play. Do what makes your heart happy. Show you another bookmark that I made, also with a little cutout picture. I just cut my flower in half and put it onto a cardboard, folded that in half. As you can see, I just glued the picture on top, and there it goes. Makes another perfect bookmark. I love how it looks. Look how cute that is. Another idea is to make some name tags. So name tags are so useful for gifting things. Made some homemade cookies. Just adding a little tag with a tiny little note can make all the difference. And since I have it, I'm going to use a bit of washi tape. Why not use my art supplies? So use what makes you happy. Try to find a color that matches. Still need to leave some space to write the name or to write something. That's okay if it goes out. And here you can write a name or you can write a little message. So this makes for a lovely little addition to your gift. Another way to use these pictures is for letter writing. So you might have just a regular notepad that isn't very beautiful or pretty, and let's try to spruce it up with some of these pictures. So first of all, think about the theme of the letter you want to write or the person you want to write. Maybe you want to write yourself a letter. So think about what you would need. What makes you happy? The color yellow just always makes me happy. I'm thinking to also add some blue. So even if you have a quick letter to write, quick note to write, if you just put a little bit of time and effort into making it beautiful, it can make all the difference for the person who is receiving it. It doesn't take too much effort, so you make the design how you want. So just because a picture is one way doesn't mean you can't change it. I'm going to use this on the top of the page. Like there's something in both corners. So if you have a little extra time, you can even make yourself a whole bunch of little papers like this with just normal notebook paper. But you have your beautiful letter writing paper, and the special thing is that you made it. When something is handmade, it makes it all the more special to the person who receives it. So there we have it. A pretty little letter writing paper, all handmade. Something else that I find helpful and fun to do is create a little menu. Whether it's a menu for the week, for my family, or maybe a little menu for your tea party, or just having guests over, kind of brings that extra special touch. If you have a few of these already made in advance, it will make it easy for you. So you might make something different depending on the pictures that you use. So again, I'm going to take my notepad. This time I'm just going to take note paper from a regular notebook because everybody has that. Doesn't need to be too fancy. Could also be fun to put it on a black piece of paper or cardboard because then it shows that it looks like a real menu. See what other pictures do I have to use of foods? Oh, I have this here. I might want to include. I have all these cute menu items. So the design is not that important. It just has to fit you, make you happy. So I'm going to do a mix of both tape, 3D tape, and glue. So I've given this to friends before as well to keep in their kitchen. I think it's a cute gift. And what I would do is laminate this, a new menu for the week, so they can always write a new menu for the week. I want to make it beautiful. Here's where I'm going to write menu. So the extra little touch of you taking time to write out your tea party menu or a meal menu if you're inviting guests. With my kids, we used to have a special dinner once a week, every Friday night. They would always take the time to write their menu because we all took turns to decide what the menu was, the menu of the meal, the menu of the snack and dessert. I love that they went out of the way to make it beautiful. I'll always remember that as a little family tradition. And color this in. So there you have your little menu board for your guests. Now, another idea is something that I've recently needed to do and prepare was for a friend's birthday party. She needed names for the glasses so that people wouldn't get mixed up during the day. It was a day event. And so I thought of, well, why not make some name tags using some of these pictures? So I used pink for the girls and blue for the boys. Of course, you can right on the glass with a glass marker. But what's the fun in that? So it wasn't enough of a challenge for me. And then you take a piece of paper, it's too long. You see what's the width of the cup, and then I glue my flowers on top. Now, if you want to make it really special, you can also use one of these pop-up tapes. Of course, first I write the name, and then I can use a piece of tape or some glue to keep it in place. So of course, if this is for a full day, you might want to put some tape on top so that when it gets wet, it doesn't get ruined. That's why I used a permanent marker. And there you have it, a beautiful little name tag for your glasses. So continuing with the party table, I'm going to make some napkin holders. So of course, feel free to use pictures that would fit the theme of your party. You could use balloon pictures. To me, flowers go any party, any occasion. Maybe you'd want to use flowers for the girls, leaves for the boys. So let's try both options here. So this is a very simple way to use the napkins. I just use a paper clip alongside a picture and add the little picture to it, and voila, you have your beautiful little table set. I like using the same types of flowers if I'm going to put them on the same table. And if you have bigger napkins that maybe don't hold the paper clips, or if you want to fold them in a different way, I also like using a little peg and then including the little picture. So you could either have the little picture like that, or even glue the picture with a little piece of tape. So I would suggest the picture to be a little bit bigger than the peg, a little bigger than the peg. But how cute is that for decorating your? And the great thing about this is you can also add little name tags alongside it. So you already have the peg, you already have the paper clip, so it doesn't take any more work to just add the name there. And there we have it, our very simple little napkins. The next idea is table name tags. So we're running a little low on our pictures here. Don't worry, there's a use for all of them. There are lots more ideas. Maybe I'll make a second video of these. When I started writing down these ideas, I couldn't stop. I wanted to share them all. So I suggest that you go with the color code of your napkins or tablecloth or your dishes, something to match your table or your space. That way it doesn't clash. So as you can see here, I'm going with blues and pinks. Now for the paper to use, I find that the best is 120 grams. Not too thick, so you just fold it to the height that you want, and then you cut here. So we're making two, so I'm cutting this in half. I try to match them a little bit because that way they all blend nicely together. So I'm going to put them on the same side, and I'm using butterflies and flowers as my topic. You could put more than one picture. Depends how much time you have, how much you want to get into it. What I find with these little projects is that your kids might love doing it with you. Some special time together. And look how beautiful that is. So you could use a black pen, or you could use highlighter to match your colors. So again, it's so simple, yet so beautiful. And there we have it. And they stand up there in front of people's seats. Do not forget to write some names alongside a pretty napkin and a cup with their name on it. And you're ready for the party. You're ready for a beautiful dinner, yet so simple, but filled with love.